Understand this, words were used to create life. Literally, words were used to create creation. So, the fact that God said, let there be light, the fact that humans are the only species that can use words, animals and creation and animals can't use words. We are the only ones that can use words out of the three creation groups. There's creation, there's um there's creation, there's the animals, there's creatives. The creatives, which is us, the humans, are the only ones that can use words, are the only ones that can comprehend ideas, that can conceptualize ideas, that can put ideas forth there and spread them out, can make, as science, can understand the science, can understand the math, can understand the calculations it takes to get from one place to another, can understand the calculations of an artifact um, staying alive for 200 years. That's why a lot of scientists end up becoming Christians, because they use the science, they understand the science, and they realize that there has to be a creator somewhere. There has to be a creator that created everything that we see. There's no way, it is impossible to say that this has just always been there, because there are specific neurons, there are specific cells that do specific things inside those different bodies, different organisms. They do specific things because they were designed that way. The design is too meticulous, the design is too specific for it to just be, there, right? And so that is just a reason to say, yo, like, if our creator used one word, if our creator spoke something into existence, if our creator spoke something into existence, right? That means the words that we speak, the words that we think, as a spiritual conduit, is very, very powerful. That's what it means. It means it's extremely powerful, right? Because it means whatever I speak has an impact. Whatever I say here has an impact. Whatever I say out loud has impact. It has a purpose. There's a shift. A shift happens when I say something, when I think something, right? It does have an impact. It does have its place, right? And it will impact the rest of my day. It will impact the rest of my bloodline. It will impact the next 5 years of my life, right? So I need to understand that what I think and what I say, what I think, what I say, what I do, will have an impact for the next 5 years. What I think, what I say, what I do will have a huge impact on the next 5 years of my life, for the next 6 years of my life. Understanding that fact and acting with that intention, that, okay, I need to make sure that I'm thinking the right things. I need to make sure that I'm saying the right things. I need to make sure that I'm doing I do what I say. I need to make sure that I do what I say. I need to make sure that I keep my word. I need to make sure that what I do is gonna benefit me in 5 years, right? Having that in mind constantly, that will level up my life. That will not only level up my life, that will also make me have a more spiritual thought process, more understanding, and more. It will make me want to dig deeper into the spiritual intricacies that exist in our world, that exist in the mind, that exist in the heart, right? And that is important. It is important to also not just look at at the physical, but also the spiritual. It's also important to look at the neuroscience of it all, understanding the neuroscience, understanding the brain, understanding the functions of the brain, understanding if I say this is how the brain will react. Understanding the use of dopamine, understanding that if I tap into dopamine too much dopamine could be a bad thing. If I seek pleasure too much pleasure will have a negative effect on my life. Seeking for too much pleasure will have a negative effect on my life that is probably irreparable. Seeking too much pleasure could waste way too much time that I will never get back. Because time is the number one resources that humans have. Why is time the number one resources humans have? Because time is something you will never get back. You will never get back the time that you spent yesterday when you were wasting your time, I don't know, checking off or like wasting your time doing something, watching a Netflix movie when you were supposed to complete 2 assignments. If you were supposed to complete 2 assignments yesterday and you were watching a Netflix movie and you moved those assignments for the next day, sorry, you wasted your time. You wasted another 24 hours. That's 24 hours wasted. That you wasted. If you were at least productive, if you completed the 2 assignments that you were supposed to do yesterday, and then you watched the Netflix movie, then it's slightly better. It's slightly better because the main goals that you were supposed to achieve, you've done them, right? Could you do more work? Yes, you could do more work. You could be more productive. You could put in more hours and have a better result for the next 5 years. But the fact that you've put in the work and now you decide, okay, let me slow down a bit, let me take a back seat. That's okay as well because there's progress being done there. There's work that's been done there. There's work that you can account for, right? Words are used to express ideas. The better you are at communicating an idea, the more successful you will become. I will say that again. The better you are at communicating an idea, the more successful you will become. Why? Because all the money that you need, all the money that you want is in someone else's pocket. And you need to be able to solve that person's problem and give them a solution that is worthwhile. A solution that they can count on to be like, okay, this is a good solution. Since this person has a good solution, I will give them 50,000. I will give them the money. Right? If your solution is at the value of $100,000 or $200,000 or whatever currency you like, right? The person will be like, yeah, you know what? I'm willing to pay for that amount for that solution. And you'll be like, okay. Right. And how do you get to that level of transaction? The way that you communicate, you show this person that, yo, I see the problem that you're facing. I have the solution. If you are a good communicator, you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to communicate that, yo, you have the solution to the problem, right? And if you fail a few times, if you don't know how to do it yet, by doing it a few more times, you can learn how to do it. You can learn how to be better at sales. You can learn to be better at sales. You can learn to convince people of certain things, right? But your communication has to be better. You need to read more books. You need to know more words. You need to expand your lexicon. You need to better your vocabulary. You need to better your vocabulary. You need to better your lexicon. Right? These are the things you need to better for, in order to get certain things, in order to release certain messages, in order to put out certain messages, right? That is what you need to do. Right? You need to be a better storyteller even. You have to be a better storyteller. Right? So yeah, those are the power of words, man. Those words are so powerful, so impactful, right? So don't count words out. Don't cut them out, because just because you use this mouth every day, don't take it lightly. Don't take it as a small thing, right? Do not take it as a small thing, right? So being a better communicator can help you with your relationships, with your friends, with your lover, with your parents. Being a better communicator will help with that, right? And yeah, just your all-around life. Being a better communicator will help you improve every area of life, every single area of life in this life, and that is important. That is important, guys. And yeah, man, let me leave you guys to it. Let me leave you guys to be more productive, to learn how to use words in a way that pushes you, in a way that elevates your life, you know.